While all that was happening there in Maharashtra, as a group of women were stopped from entering or actually going anywhere close to the Shani Shingnapur temple, the politicians were looking the other way. All that Devendra Fadnavis did was he said that he could offer to mediate, which is not really taking a position. It's a wishy-washy stance. Rahul Narvekar with us tonight, Shaina NC of the BJP, Rahul Narvekar of the NCP, Ranjana Bajpai of the Samajwadi Party, she heads their women's wing, Hitesh Jain is an advocate, Abha Singh, advocate and social activist, Advaita Kala, author and scriptwriter, and Vasundhra Pathak Masoodi is an advocate in the Supreme Court. Thank you very much. What explains? Let me start by asking you, Shaina, what explains the government trying to stay away from this, not trying to complicate things for itself, not intervening? 500 women were heckled. 500 women were roughed up by a state administration and were forcefully stopped at a place 70 kilometers from the Shani temple only because they wanted to pray there. Why did the government step aside and allow the women to be treated in this manner? What explains this beyond vote bank politics?
First and foremost, this is not a political issue. Please do understand this is about respect of every woman and gender equality, for which we are completely with the agitation. Our Chief Minister has made 3 points today, all of which are on Twitter.
How are you with the agitation when the police detained close to 200 women?
One moment.
No, 1 second.
When he said, let me just, if I can just make my opening point. When one talks about that any place of worship.
Home Minister, sorry, Fadnavis is the Maharashtra Home Minister. If someone is to act, then it is Fadnavis. He is the Home Minister and he is the Chief Minister. For your kind of information, right?
And isn't it his
the
duty,
Home Minister and the Chief Minister,
isn't it his duty to maintain?
No,
isn't it his duty to maintain law and order?
Be broken?
And if
answer
there are
the question. Just one second. How would law and order be broken if a group of women worship at a temple? How would law and order be broken if a group of women worship at a temple? If you go to a temple, would you be breaking law and order?
We are completely with the women who want.
Doesn't matter where you were. Why were the women stopped?
Who want to enter the temple? This is not about them being stopped. This is about maintaining.
It is about them being stopped. They were stopped, weren't they?
Situation where it could have turned violent because you had the panchayat and women from the village also trying to block the other women.
200. Okay, Shaina, don't be repetitive on this one. I'd like to go across to let's get the perspective correct on this. The women were physically stopped, and I'd like to go across to Advaita and let others come into the debate, so we open up the debate very quickly.
To maintain law and order and to ensure that there is no violence.
Shaina, you're repeating yourself now. The women were physically stopped by the Ahmednagar district administration and forcefully taken away.
And
listen to the other side.
Shaina,
I have Abha on the other side. She's speaking. Can you please, Shaina, be quiet for a minute?
Change of this 400-year-old practice.
Okay, now Shaina, be quiet for a minute. Abha is giving you the correct perspective. It would be instructional for you to please listen to her, because these women were stopped by the police and their fundamental right of worship stood violated, which is why we are debating tonight. If there's to be any debate, it's not on a law and order that did not break. They were not carrying arms. They were not threatening violence. They were completely peaceful and non-violent. If anything, violence was applied on them.
Definitely.
They are the ones who are the victims here. Abha, can you put it in perspective, please? Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly, Arnab, when it says Article 25 gives everybody the right to practice, propagate religion, and then Article 15 says you cannot discriminate on grounds of religion, race and sex, and above all Article 14 talks of equality. So when the Constitution gives us equality, how are these temple authorities? They are stopping women from entering the temple, and the government has played into the hands of the temple authorities by asking the district magistrate, instructing the district magistrate to put 144 whereby nobody could enter, and you stop them 70 kilometers away. In fact, there were no law and order issues. These women, you are right, they had no arms. They were only coming there to put their perspective that
just one minute, just one minute. Don't interrupt.
And by
don't interrupt. So we get the facts correct.
Administration
so we get the facts correct.
The trustees because it is basically a vote bank politics. And the government is.
So that we get the facts correct. And let us be clear on the facts. If it's embarrassing for politicians, so be it. The women were physically stopped from entering a temple and on what grounds. And I am so shocked tonight that there are women who want to be wishy-washy about it. Shobha De comes on the last panel and says, I hope the activist leader here in this particular case did not have a political angle. She should have spoken about how the women of this country, Shobha De, who says and claims that she speaks for women, comes and doesn't speak a word about the fact that some so-called traditional rituals, so-called, prevent women from entering a temple on grounds of being impure and supersede, for your kind information, Shaina NC, the law of the land. There is a constitutional right of women to worship. The law of the land has been broken. And the law of the land has been broken with a lot of force tonight. And that is unfortunate that the Netas kept quiet on this subject. Vasundhra, Pathak, Masoodi, please. Vasundhra, please. Yes, Vasundhra.
See, under Article 26 of the Constitution of India, there has been a right which has been given to temples to regulate and to manage their affairs. But I must say that this right is also not absolute because they're subject to legal scrutiny. As far as the Supreme Court judgment is concerned and various commandments...
Just let her complete after that.
With regards to a case, Sri Adi Vishweshwar of Kashi Vishwanath Temple versus State of Uttar Pradesh, where Honorable Court has upheld that the right to manage a temple is not an integral part of religion. It can be regulated by law.
My interpretation of this subject is very simple.
When you have a right to equality, when you have a right to profess the religion of your own choice,
Vasundhra, today we are being told...
The prudent approach would have been to stop the temple authorities, not to intervene with women who want to go and worship in the temple.
That is the point. Because that is the point. One second, Hitesh, understand this.
Should have been against the temple authorities.
Absolutely
to ensure that the fundamental rights are
absolutely correct. Yes. Absolutely correct. So, if there was a state government administration that was effective in this manner, and if we had a chief minister and a home minister rolled into one who knew the law, then action, Vasundhara, by your logic, should have been taken against the panchayat members, against those people who are browbeating the women, threatening them, saying they will not allow them. Action should have been taken against those panchayat members and not the 1,500 non-violent women, Advaita, who are out there only saying give us the right to pray. Action should have been taken against the people who are denying the women the right to pray. But instead, unfortunately, in our country, action is taken against people who seek the right to pray, who have the right to pray and whose right is being violated. Hear Advaita and then respond. 1 second. Advaita and then Hitesh. Advaita. I think if you have a spineless state administration, then this is the situation you're going to have. Yes, please. Advaita.
I think the tweet is welcome. I think it sets the right precedent. But however, we have to look at the actions. And here the Chief Minister, also the Home Minister, had a choice to make. What he chose to do, as Vasundhara rightly said, was to prohibit their entry into the temple instead of ensuring safe access to the temple. I think that's a choice he made that displayed his intention. He's saying the right words now. But clearly, he instructed a dialogue post-fact. If we're talking about intention, if we're talking about how this was approached, then clearly it's quite clear which side of the fence he was on. And that is displayed by the police action in the afternoon and the fact that these women were detained. There's no way around that.
After she finishes. Yes, please. Hitesh wants to respond to you. I want to put this in perspective
instructions to intervene with the temple authorities.
Yes, I'll tell you what intimidation is.
On these questions.
Shaina NC, I'll tell you what intimidation is. Intimidation is when a government intervenes.
Shaina, those temple authorities should have been disbanded.
1 second. Shaina, you know, intimidation is when a government intervenes in a person's choice of food by banning the consumption of beef. Intervention is when a bunch of political bullies from the BJP try to decide what movies people should watch. That is intimidation. And intimidation of the worst kind is when the police in large numbers go out there and physically stop a group of women from exercising their right to pray. You have not only violated the Constitution of India, you have walked over the BJP manifesto today and the promises you made to the people of this country. It's not a question of choosing what there should be intervention in. This is the Constitution of India. The Constitution has been adopted. So, Hitesh, I want you to respond to the points made by Advaita and Abha earlier today when they are talking about the equal right to access. Okay, Hitesh's point. Hitesh.
You cannot read gender question in the issues of faith. And this is, and you will be surprised. You cannot read the gender question in the issues of
certainly,
faith.
But then why is gender being brought in?
There are certain religious practices that is guaranteed by the Constitution.
No, I'm sorry, the Constitution is over and above any religion.
Constitution protects certain religious practice. As has been done in the Ayappa Swami.
Constitution is over religion.
Has protected religious practice, customary practice, which forms part of
the Supreme Court in various interpretations says that Supreme Court in multiple. Hitesh, hear me. Hitesh, don't speak over me. Otherwise, you won't hear. Hitesh, hear this. The Supreme Court, in innumerable judgments, observations and cases, has made it amply clear that the Constitution lies well over every religious practice, that every religious practice is subservient to what is there in the Constitution.
The latest judgment in Agama's case, Supreme Court says religious practice needs to be protected and they form part of the freedom of religion, and they also have an customary practice, have the effect of law. And therefore,
what is the date today? No, I don't like flawed arguments.
No, this is not a flawed argument. It's a very clear argument.
There's no argument here.
Religious practice, religious customary practices form part of freedom of religion, which is also protected under the Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution of India.
Question number one. Just one minute. Question number one. Gender questions must be read in matters of faith. Point number one. Point number two, and now I would like to educate you as far as the law is concerned. The law, the Supreme Court, in the Sabarimala case, which is still ongoing, Hitesh, has asked on what basis are restrictions placed on women who want to go to Sabarimala, adding, and I quote, women may or may not go, but that is their personal choice. This is January 11th, 2016, since your previous argument was made on what is recent and not recent. Today is the 26th of January 2016. I am quoting to you what the Supreme Court has said 14 days back. I haven't finished. Secondly, and I'm really surprised that you've come unprepared on this subject today. The Supreme Court has said in the context of the appointment of priests, stating, and I quote, on the 17th of December 2015, that constitutional legitimacy must supersede all religious beliefs and practices, is barring women from entering the sanctum sanctorum, upholding constitutional legitimacy. It's not. So don't quote me the Constitution, don't quote me the law. You can come on television and say this is vote bank politics. We don't have the guts to take on these religious groups because we think politically we are going to lose out. At least be honest about it. Don't hold the camouflage of legal arguments because it's not going to work on me. Abha, you aware of this? Abha, are these two cases relevant or not in the context of what we are speaking?
In the religious press case, they have upheld the religious practice about Agamas
Abha and Vasundhra Masoodi. Abha and Vasundhra Masoodi. What is
that if anything violates the Constitution, it is the Constitution.
But then file the petition in the court of law. Is this the way?
Hitesh Jain's mindset is very clear.
Religious custom must evolve, but is this the way?
Cannot come in faith. This itself shows that Hitesh Jain has a very closed mind.
Abha, you are a lawyer. Please go to the High Court and file a petition.
As spokesman of a party, as spokesman of BJP, he does not want to read the law.
Abha, you are a lawyer. Just go to the court and file a petition. You get your answer.
What are the fundamental rights? Can you tell me two fundamental rights?
Article 25 and Article 26. Which
there are enough cases.
What are the fundamental rights of an Indian?
Discrimination cannot be done. What are the fundamental
Article 25?
Freedom, liberty. What are the fundamental rights?
Freedom of religion. Freedom of religion in a particular manner. It gives religious worship place to frame the rules.
And there are too many issues which say Article 14. It superimposes all other articles.
That is being made here.
But she's saying, speaking contrary to the Constitution.
Inequality are matters settled in the Constitution.
The only exception are public order, health and morality.
Mr. Please don't give me a superficial argument.
This is not
whatever the legal argument.
This is a very bold argument.
Hitesh, don't qualify your own argument.
It may not sound convenient, but religious practice, customary religious practice are protected under Article 25 and Article 26.
I have just told you that every religious practice, to file
a petition and she will get the answer in the court. I challenge Abha to, she files petitions on so many issues, file a petition on this ground and you will get the answer.
Now Hitesh, one second. I heard you there. Point is, I gave you 2 examples, you had no response, but a point here is to be made. Abha, 1 minute. Whatever the legal argument, I don't understand how some outdated belief that a woman's presence near a shrine can be construed as impure, or that a deity will get corrupted, or a deity will get distracted by the presence of a woman, can be allowed to hold sway over the fundamental right to worship and enter a shrine. And for every... Vasundhra,
once you have considered that there is a legal...
I'm not considering...
You are right on the customary...
Vasundhra is responding to you. Vasundhra is responding.
Over a period of time, customs can evolve. But this is not the manner. Confrontation is not the answer.
Here, Vasundhra.
Agree to the point that customs can evolve. This is not the method and the manner.
Will not that be fair on my part to question Mr. So-and-so who challenged Miss Abha Singh to show some religious sanction or whatever it is, or legal sanction? I asked him, it is being done in the name of religion. Show me one single religious scripture which prohibits the entry of women at places of worship.
And what about the customary practice? She's talking about religion. Scriptures, you don't need about Hindu religion also.
Let her speak. Why are you not letting her? It's not right. Please. Yeah, go ahead.
What about the religious customary practice? They also, other than scriptures, it is a religious customary practice.
I don't know what practice.
Which also forms the freedom of faith.
Customary practice.
Listen, don't repeat, don't speak over her.
But a tool and a manifestation of misogynist and patriarchal mindset, and to ensure that the women keep on subjugating themselves.
I don't.
No, one second. No, 1 second. Now I heard you there. Let's be very clear on some facts. Barriers are there which are unfair, and barriers which are there which are unfair should be broken. And if they have not been broken till now, that is the tragedy of our times. Barriers were broken when there was a thread ceremony, a sacred thread ceremony that was performed on 20 women in Goa last year. Barriers should be broken, therefore, in the same breath, in the Shani temple, in Sabarimala and in Haji Ali, because there is nothing in the rules which allows these barriers to exist. Barriers that are created in the absence of rules cannot hide behind the argument, Advaita, of being tradition, because there is no such definition of tradition. Devadasi system was tradition. Dowry system was called tradition. Sati Pratha in this country was called tradition. For a Brahmin man, to have a shadow of a Dalit, to have the, yes, this is a bad practice as well. This is a bad practice as well.
And what are the constitutional manner, approach the court, follow the process. Why create a law and order?
Hitesh, you're going on like a broken record. Hitesh, will you stop for a minute? Hitesh, don't be so self-assured. Don't be so self-assured. Listen to me for a minute. Listen to me for a minute.
Suppose if the women were allowed to go there, and there would have been a confrontation.
Why would there be a confrontation?
Because there was a section of women who was also opposing the...
Then the action should be taken against the women who are opposing, or the women who are supposed to go.
The preventive action.
Then the law is taken. Don't speak over me when I'm asking you questions. Hitesh, listen. Don't get into speech mode on the news.
I think the Chief Minister gave a proper solution.
Listen to me.
You can mediate, you can bring all the sections together. Customs can evolve.
Stop speaking for a minute.
There is no doubt. Customs can evolve.
Use your ears and listen.
Arnab, customs can evolve.
Hitesh, listen to me.
Customs can evolve, Arnab.
You want to go on like a broken record? Just stop for a minute. I don't understand this. Two simple arguments. If you're saying there could have been a law and order situation, and calm down first of all, a law and order situation is created when there is violence. Point number one, none of these women are violent. You are saying there are some women who are blocking them, and they could be violent. If in that case, action should be taken against those who oppose someone's right, not those who are exercising someone's right. You don't even need first year LLB class to understand that. I don't understand why you have a mental block on the subject. Maybe it's because of your political bias.
Take preventive steps have been taken in the past
preventive
also.
Steps.
So one should not...
Yes, absolutely. I think you ask a layperson this.
Advaita Kala.
From the realm of politics, from the realm of religion.
You are trying to...
Advaita Kala.
Just common sense. Just common sense. Just common sense. Is it illegal to go to a place of worship, or is it illegal to block access to a place of worship? I think that's all you need to understand. I don't see where this politics comes in, where the law comes in. It's quite clear what needed to be done and what actually happened. I think those are two very, very different things. If the chief minister is getting involved right now, then that's a good step. But it has come at another point. Please, there is no religious ground for this kind of discrimination. It doesn't exist. So don't use that argument. Neither is there a spiritual argument. Please do not use the Agama Shastra argument either, because there has been no link between Shani Shingnapur and the Agama Shastra argument in this case. I don't know, you are using that about
the religious practice. That is not the point.
To make that point, but it does not link to this case. It does not link to this case. So I don't see why you're doing that, because you're deflecting.
I'm not deflecting. You are just reading a gender question in the issues of faith.
And they need to correct course.
Ranjana Bajpai on the other side, please.
It's not a gender course. And these are not activists. I want to correct that. These are not activists. These are Hindu women who want to worship at Shani Shingnapur. And people need to get that right before they attribute political motives or anything.
I want to ask Ranjana Bajpai, and this question is a little broader, Ranjana ji. Understand the question. You have women's wings in different political parties. All political parties, BJP, Congress, I presume Samajwadi Party has a women's wing, and you're the head of the Samajwadi Party women's wing. Don't you feel strongly about this?
Yes, yes.
What is the point of having a women's wing of a party when you don't take a position on issues such as this? When you don't take a position on women not being allowed inside the Haji Ali Dargah? When you don't take a position on women not being allowed into temples? I mean, I don't understand, what are the women's wings of the parties for? To toe the line? I mean, when Mulayam Singh Yadav in the run-up to the 2014 elections speaks against the death sentence given to the rapists of the Shakti Mills case, and he says boys are boys in the context of rape, they are prone to making mistakes. You don't take on Mulayam Singh Yadav. You know, when Mulayam Singh Yadav makes those comments, you don't speak. But today, when women are not allowed into a temple, or women are not allowed into a mosque, you don't speak either. So what are the women's wings for?
Arnab, this is not only about the Samajwadi Party, this is about the womankind throughout the country. It's very sad that in the 21st century, the ladies have to fight for their fundamental rights when in a country which worships goddesses and which says that gods and prosperity stays where women are worshipped. And where our constitution also says that women and men have equal rights. There we have to struggle for our fundamental rights. And I think most of the women, it's not only the Samajwadi Party, are with the women who are struggling at the Shani temple. And it is not only the Shani temple, this is just the beginning. It is in many of the temples that women are not allowed. And the same thing happened, you must be remembering, in 2005 at the Mahalakshmi temple at Mumbai. Even across religion. And in the Mahalakshmi temple also, till 2005, women were not allowed.
What about the Haji Ali Dargah?
Agitation, the government took a...
What about the Haji Ali Dargah? You think women should be allowed into the Haji Ali Dargah? Are you saying?
I feel that women, it's not only a question of, it is not only a question of temples, it is a question of the dargahs also, and it is a question of the churches also, where there are only male priests. So this is a struggle of women for their fundamental rights everywhere.
But that's all well spoken.
India,
but that's all well spoken. That's all well spoken. Question here at this point of time, which is a more fundamental issue, is we speak about rights tonight. So Vasundhra, Advaita, come back to the debate, and Abha Singh will find this question relevant as well in her context. But the question is to Shaina NC. Shaina NC, this is Devendra Fadnavis, Maharashtra. Devendra Fadnavis is the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. In Devendra Fadnavis's Maharashtra, what is that has-been actor? Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay Dutt has full rights as a prisoner. He'll even be released many hundreds of days early. Full rights exercised by him. And Abha, I find it very interesting that Sanjay Dutt's lawyer, who happens to be sitting on my left, Hitesh Jain, will say there are rights of Sanjay Dutt as a prisoner. Right? These are his rights. But a group of women, allow me to complete, please. You see, 1 second, please, Shaina, I haven't completed. A group of peaceful women demanding their legitimate rights are physically denied these rights. So please tell me, how does it add up, Abha Singh, that Sanjay Dutt has full rights,
absolutely,
but the women who want to pray don't have rights?
Absolutely.
Is this question not relevant? And we have a person here who says the women's rights are not absolute, but Sanjay Dutt's rights are absolute. Yes, Abha?
We are only talking about gender equality.
Exactly, Arnab. Sanjay Dutt gets a remission.
No, I'm on very much on the subject. I'm very much on the subject.
And he says Sanjay Dutt is being...
One sec, just one. Here.
Zebulissa would be given.
So, if at all our Chief Minister has said that the district magistrate must sit immediately with the
if it was not Shaina, then why did you stop these women from even coming in the vicinity of the Shani Shingnapur temple?
If there
why
are
did you stop them 70 kilometers?
If there are 500 women on one side and the panchayat women on the other, obviously one does not want violence. And if at all the Chief Minister has immediately said that no community, no religion endorses any kind of discrimination. We live in the 21st century. He's even said that on the 67th day of Republic Day, we should say
if that was Shaina, if that was the issue,
which is something to talk about.
Told the management trust that
our government has been proactive. If the district magistrate and SP were not in the negotiation trust
that let these women come,
your government, you're limiting this only to Shani Shingnapur. My appeal to you would be, please raise issues
you
of
imposed 144
and other places of worship as well.
Shaina, you imposed 144
talking about a ritual which is 400 years old, and to get that to worship on the track
for those believers, you have 144.
You have
for
to
the temple trustees,
if you don't have a debate and discussion, are you just going to arrive at breaking into a temple,
the charity commissioners could have disbanded
on the
charity commissioners could have disbanded the
or would you want a consensus by dialogue?
A consensus. Let me give an example. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Abha and Shaina, please wait. Abha and Shaina, 1 minute wait. Abha and Shaina, 1 minute wait. 1 minute wait. What I find very surprising tonight.
You will stop the simple.
What I find very surprising.
You stop there.
1 second, Abha a minute.
Criminals.
Abha, the fact is, you see, women politicians must show some guts. And they don't. In 2015, January 4th.
Who is not showing?
I'll tell you if you choose to listen. Because they toe the line. You see, as long as you're in power, your bread is buttered, why would you care if other women are denied rights? You're having a good time, there's no problems. You're fine. You're in power. So there's nothing, your status quo is maintained. Because Pankaja Munde is from your party. In December 4th, 2015, she justified the ban on entering the Shani temple. She says, this is our tradition, what is wrong with that? She said, this is our tradition, what is wrong with that? So I hope you got your answer tonight. And I want to know, sometime back we had Shobha Dev who says, I hope this is not political. I'd say today that even if there were politicians who were there demanding to go inside the sanctum sanctorum of the Shani temple, they have every right to do so. And it is despicable. It is despicable that the same people who never ask questions on the motivations of Amir Khan would immediately ask questions of the motivations of Trupti Desai because she does not belong to the celeb circuit. Now, I'll give you another example. In April 15th, 2011, Shaina, you should know about this.
That is very true. It is women like Shobha De who, even if it is a political angle, Shobha De should not have made such a statement. I would say this popcorn type of journalism is the biggest bane for women equality. That is the reason, even if it is a political angle, you have to welcome it because there are women who are coming forward talking of equality and talking of doing away with discrimination.
Now the point is on the 15th of April 2011, this example will be interesting. The BJP's and Advaita, this actually exposes the whole issue. Vasundhra, Advaita, if I can get your attention on this, please. BJP's Mahila Morcha president, Neeta Kelkar, she is or was your Mahila Morcha president? Shaina NC, am I correct? Was. Along with 15 supporters, the BJP Mahila Morcha president forcibly entered the sanctum sanctorum of a temple in Mahalakshmi, performed puja near the deity and stepped out. So the women activists of the Bharatiya Janata Party broke the traditional so-called rubbish restriction against women from entering the sanctum sanctorum of the Sri Mahalakshmi temple. They entered the temple, rightly so, without informing anyone. When the policemen and policewomen tried to stop them, the Mahila Morcha president of the Bharatiya Janata Party says, "Show me the law which prohibits me from entering the sanctum sanctorum of the temple."
For all.
Why is it that the BJP Mahila Morcha president is allowed to exercise her rights and other women are not? Explain the pure, unadulterated hypocrisy of this, Shaina. Explain the hypocrisy.
There is no hypocrisy.
Then how come when BJP Mahila Morcha activists can enter the sanctum sanctorum, but today...
Respect for women.
No, Vasundhra is asking the question. Vasundhra. Vasundhra.
Deliberate, discuss.
Vasundhra.
They don't have faith
what it is exactly.
Vasundhra Masoodi. Yeah.
You know what it is exactly? It doesn't surprise me, and it doesn't makes me curious enough to know what the state administration has done today, for the simple fact that since times immemorial, women have been fighting for their rights, and it has been proved time and again, whether it is an issue with regards to the reservations or women in the state legislatures or in the parliament. No,
if you feel that we are not leading by example,
Shaina, here, Vasundhra.
Let me complete. Ms. Shaina NC, let me complete. Whether it is an issue relating to the reservation for women in state legislatures or in the parliament, whether it is an issue relating to their safety and security, whether it is an issue relating to their appointments, there has been always discrimination being practiced by the institutions and the state machineries. Now, therefore, it doesn't surprise me at all, and it also confirms the fact that we really lack the political will when it comes to meeting out or addressing the issues relating to women in India.
And I think what's surprising them is the fact that we're asking the questions. Today, a lot of people are hassled. You know, cocktail circuit is hassled, politicians are hassled, lawyers are hassled. My point is simple, that this question is being asked, Vasundhra, and the question will be asked even more loudly. Today, a government in this country in 2016 cannot maintain silence when women are discriminated, when women are denied their fundamental right to practice religion, when women, yes, well, the government must maintain law and order by arresting, the government must maintain law and order by arresting those who trample over the rights of others to pray.
Today we are celebrating 26th of January.
Have you asked how many issue can be resolved?
There is
not in the manner in which they want to agitate.
Okay, just one minute. Okay, Vasundhra.
Will agree that there is
everyone can't speak together.
Resolve. All the panelists can agree that there are constitutional forums where you can get the resolution of the issue, not by creating a law and order problem and adopting a confrontation.
Okay, so no, my question is very simple. This argument is being made by you and by Shaina NC tonight, and let us be clear, make disclosures. You are a BJP member and Shaina is a BJP person, right? So the argument being made by the BJP representatives on this program tonight is this, that please discuss and please debate and find a resolution, and if you are not happy, we can't give you a resolution, go to a court of law. Right? Simple. Right? Reasonable. Reasonable, right? That's what you're saying. Now then you must listen to my follow-up question. Please tell me, the BJP Mahila Morcha President Neeta Kelkar, who did she discuss with? Who did she debate with? Which court of law did she go to? Which court of law did she go to? Advaita, I am asking you the question.
But
that means a politician.
After that, all the women are every day entering the temple. Is the question resolved?
Were you in government in 2011? Were you in government in 2011? Did your party leader enter? Did your party leader take the same action? How come you could take the action when you were out of power, but you denied by the women today when they're in power?
Have they resolved the issue, or we are just keeping the issue?
Who did you please tell me today, answer one question. Who did your BJP women discuss and debate with before entering the Mahalakshmi temple? Please answer the question.
There is one
who did they with?
Is that
it was a wrong? Was it a wrong? Was it a wrong? Was it a wrong? Was it a wrong? You are saying it was wrong.
One should not create a law and order problem.
So what action did your party leaders take then?
Whether it is a
what action did your party leader? What action did your party leaders take then? What action did your party leaders take against party members who took the law and order in their own hands? By your own analysis, please tell me what action they took. What action did they take? You had no answer for that.
If there is a breach of law and order, then an action is taken.
Oh, please. You can't.
A breach of law and order.
I'm clear on this. I'm clear on this. There cannot be two sets of laws in this country, one for politicians and one for others.
But today, on one end you have 1,500 women and then you have 300 women. You want them to clash.
I'm surprised there aren't more women. I'm telling you, where's the clash? You lock up those people who don't allow women to exercise their rights.
It is not a question of locking up.
Advaita is saying something. You listen to Advaita Kala. Advaita.
I think 3 words, Arnab. I'll make it very quick because obviously it's very hard to get a word in over here. But three words, really check your privilege, 3 words. When you're in power, when you have authority, when you're elected to office or you're an office holder of some sort in an organization, then different rules apply to you. The moment the shoe is on the other foot, clearly those don't extend to ordinary normal people. And that is the hypocrisy.
But Advaita,
she's answered directly. She's taken you on.
If there is a religious practice in which you do not believe and there is a certain sect that is following, what is the method? How will you issue?
How did the BJP resolve it earlier? How did the BJP resolve it earlier? How did the BJP resolve it? How did the BJP resolve it in 2011?
That was not issue. Was not
what did they do? Say it on television. Look at that camera and say what did they do?
One day, do you resolve the issue? Do you resolve the issue? You do not resolve.
There's a symbolism.
That symbolism is not the resolution.
Why did the BJP leaders do that?
That was just a symbolism.
So the BJP is allowed to do symbolism, but other women are not.
So all women are not equal. Happened in Shani Shingnapur also.
The argument
there was a woman who had entered into a sanctum. There was a woman who had entered the sanctum 4 months before.
And your BJP leader entered the sanctum sanctorum of the Mahalakshmi temple. Your BJP leader entered the sanctum sanctorum of the Mahalakshmi temple, and rightly so.
It's plain and simple. If somebody has entered the sanctum, they have entered the sanctum.
So all women are equal, but BJP women are more equal than others.
It is not a question of all women are equal and all. There are
that is exactly the question, sir.
You cannot play with the law and order. You cannot play with the law and order.
So why did BJP leaders play with the law?
Of glory create this kind of a problem.
What action did you take against the BJP Mahila Morcha chief?
Of course, the administration would have taken
what action did you take? You took no action. Your hypocrisy is completely...
This is not hypocrisy. You cannot create deliberate...
And on this debate tonight, I have 5 more minutes on this debate. Yes,
and
please.
I think that rather than getting into this, please let's discuss other community holds as well.
Why
we have not discussed why women have not been allowed.
We have discussed all communities. We are clear on all. I am asking you today what Vasundhra Masoodi. Vasundhra Masoodi with Shaina NC.
Because only one community that wants to change with the time, that wants to dialogue, that wants to change trends, even if it's after 400 years.
Vasundhra is saying something.
No, why other communities? Why don't you address the issue?
All communities. This is about women at large. This is not about Hindus or Muslims. This is about women's respect and gender equality. So why don't you address every single community and the community that is willing to have deliberations and discussions on an old ritual which is defunct in the 21st century? We're not welcoming that. We're not welcoming the fact that the women are in the process to change all that has happened. The garb of ritual is defunct in the 21st century. If it is defunct in this community, it should be defunct in every community as well.
Yes,
why have different sets of
No, but that's not even a subject of debate. Shaina, one second. Sorry, Shaina, one second. Easy way out on the debate tonight.
Vasundhra. But tell me, does that justify? I buy your argument, but does that justify your government to stop the women who went there to worship?
Not at all. Our government is saying, please review defunct rituals. Please have a relook at it. And
Absolutely
the only way to have a relook is if all parties concerned dialogue and answer the questions that in the 21st century, what was prevalent 400 years ago cannot be relevant. And if you're talking about equality equality and respect, and on one hand you're calling a woman Durga and Saraswati and Lakshmi, you cannot view her as an impure object if she touches an object of devotion.
Then in that case,
I think that is the fundamental point. That's why we're saying don't limit this just to Hinduism, which is a religion that is willing to listen.
Again you got confused. Again you got confused on the subject. Vasundhra, today is Republic Day. And I worry here today.
And set it as a
I worry here today that why the political class of this country have allowed politicians to run all over the constitution that we adopted 66 days back. Whether they accept it or not, let them do some soul searching. They're all hiding tonight. Most of them don't want to come out and take a position on this. Women have been denied social justice, liberty of faith, worship, equality of status, everything that the Constitution has guaranteed them. This is an uncomfortable issue for a lot of people, but let it be debated tonight. Let the debate on the right to pray be opened up on this Republic Day. I thank you very much for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.